Hi guys, welcome to Always the Wild Ones. My name's Vanessa Lee. Make yourself nice and cozy. It's the end of the month. This month flew by for me and I thought I'd do my top 7 favourites. I don't do them every month, but I'm really feeling it this month as the season has changed. Things have been happening around here, but anyway, I've got 2 plants to start with next to me, and then I've got some that are kind of around the room that are probably too big to lift up, so I will be spinning the camera around. And then towards the end I'm going to save 2 plants. Well, one that's definitely a plant that you haven't really seen much of, although I've had it for a while, but it's just super cute. Anyway, yeah, so stay until the end. So first of all, I'm going to start with which one? I think I'm going to start with my pretty turtle. Some people call it the African primrose. I think it's also called Primulina. It's got many names, but I absolutely adore this plant. Now, this is the mother plant. Look how big it is. I mean, I can't actually believe how big this plant is. And I did take some cuttings from this plant, and it has just, it's literally expanded, and inside you can see there's some flowers getting ready to bloom. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I absolutely love this plant. I've probably had this almost 3 years now, definitely 2.5 years, and it's still one of my favorites. It's just so easy to take care of. I do not have to fuss around this plant. I've never known it to have pests, and touch wood, hopefully it never does get a pest, but it's just like, it just keeps going, and it just looks like this all the time. I do have a leaf that's probably an old leaf that's kind of getting ready to croquet, getting ready to kick the bucket, but yeah, that's kind of like the most it's going to do, and then I just kind of end up pulling it off. But generally it looks super healthy like this. I do keep it in kind of dappled lighting. In the summer it does get like a little bit of, well, direct dappled lighting, and then in the winter I just can't try and keep it in like a kind of a medium light area. But yeah, I love this plant so much. I don't think I could ever fall out of love with this plant. It really is just such a giving plant. It's super fluffy. I didn't actually show you that. I'm gonna get whacked in the face by this guy. But yeah, hopefully you can see how fluffy it is. If you've never seen one in person, or if you've not watched any of my videos before, you wouldn't know how crazy I am about this plant. I try not to talk about it too often because I do find myself talking about it a lot, and it's because I literally every single day I am looking at this plant. Like, I can't wait to just have a look at it, give it a little stroke and whatever. I do have another one which I was going to sell, and then someone was going to buy it, and then they didn't buy it, and then someone else wanted to buy it, and then I was like, oh, I don't know, I just ended up keeping it. Let me get it. So this one is the cutting from this guy. Can you imagine if I kept them together in one pot? I mean, I'm almost tempted to do that, to be honest, and just get like a really nice, I want to get like maybe a terracotta, like quite shallow pot, but big. But yeah, and then maybe put them back together. So maybe that's why I kind of kept hold of this thing. And this one's also flowering. It's also got flowers in there. I mean, I don't know when the flowers are going to pop out, but yeah, she's got them pretty much. Yeah, you can see in there as well. There's lots of flowers, but I just can't wait to see what the bloom's going to be like. Now, this has bloomed before, and I'm sure it was a purple flower, like quite a cute little purple flower. Hopefully I've got some old footage or some old photos that I can pop up and show you. And yeah, oh my gosh, look at this one. It's like a little alien. Can you see that one in there? It's like a, oh, I don't know, it's just got quite a little, it's got quite a big head to it. Let's see if I can get right in there. So cute. So yeah, this is definitely a plant that I'm always looking at, and you know, I rotate it as well, making sure that there's sunlight, that each part of the plant gets a dose of sunlight. So every week I pretty much, when I water the plant, which isn't every week, that would be a lie, probably every 2 weeks I'm watering. And then I just do a little rotate. So yeah, that's number one. And this is definitely not in any particular kind of order of how much I like one more than the other. It's just that what's convenient kind of thing, what's close by and what I could carry over. So the next one is my Anthurium veitchii, and this is its latest leaf. Look how shiny, it's still hardening off, it's still sizing up. It's quite slow, I must say. It's been sizing up for at least, I mean, it was dinky, when it first popped out to what it is now, it's probably taken a month. And I would say it's still got about maybe 3 more weeks of hardening off and like getting longer. The leaf before that was this one, so I would imagine it would be pretty much the same size, but then it might not be, because it hasn't been getting, I wouldn't say it's been getting as high a light as it had been in the past. But the fact that this new leaf popped out, I'm so thankful. I've literally waited all year for this leaf, so had to show this one off. Have to show this plant that I'm very, very proud of it, and spur it along. Hopefully it'll spit out another one if I'm really nice to it. I'm just pulling off a sheath. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving my Anthurium veitchii. Some people call it the king, or it's also known as the king. And I've got this one in pon for some reason, and I am kind of tempted to maybe put it in tree fern fibre. But yeah, I just love like the ribs on this thing. It's a completely different type of leaf, like the pattern on the leaf. There's nothing else in my collection that looks anything like that. It's just, it really is quite surreal and like really alien looking as well. Like check out those, it's just so weird and ribby. And you can really feel it. It's, I mean, I don't want to mess with the new leaf too much, but yeah. I think I've had only 2 leaves grow in my care, and I bought this last year. Yeah, I've easily had this plant a year and maybe 2 months, a year, 2 months. Yeah, I think it's about that old. But every day I'm looking obviously at this leaf to see if it's grown again. Oh, I definitely did take some photos or maybe a little video of when it was first born, I was gonna say, when it first popped out. And I'll slap that up as well so that you can kind of just see like the process and like what I got to see pretty much, and what I was looking at every day, and to see what its progress was. But yeah, I'm super chuffed with this one. Oh, that's my fridge. That's fun. So yeah, just switch that off for a bit. So yeah, that's my second one that I want to show you. I'm still definitely getting used to this one. Like with some of the other anthuriums, I feel like I know them well. And then there's others where it's kind of feels like hit and miss, like you can see with the leaf, with the watering. Another reason that I might change this into tree fern fibre with my aeroid mix, because maybe I'm just not keeping the pon moist enough. I mean, that would make sense. Anyway, one last look at that new leaf. Oh, well, I think I'm going to show you my next plant, but I will have to take the camera off the stand because it is a beast. I mean, I could try and pick it up. Actually, I'll try and pick it up. Let's do that. Here is the next plant. This is my Monstera Thai constellation. Check it out. And I recently put it back into its much smaller pot, and I gave it this soil pole, and it's loving it. It's absolutely loving it. And like literally, like I would say 2 weeks later, a new leaf started coming out, and there it is in all its glory. And this plant is just getting crazy big. Like I can't, I love this plant so much. I mean, I would love if I had like maybe another room, a studio room, I would have just this plant on its own as a statement, because it's just, I really love it. I love its growth pattern. I love it now that it's on a pole. You can see with this leaf here, if I come down a bit, it's facing forward, it's not looking up at the sky. It's doing exactly what I had hoped. And if anyone out there is thinking of putting their Thai constellation onto a pole, I don't know, I'm really happy with the result. I'm very, very happy. But anyway, let me show you a little bit closer what has been going on. So, okay, how am I going to do this? Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I should bring the camera down back a bit. Oh, that's better. I should have just done that in the first place. So yeah, and it's also getting some sun on it. So the leaves, I absolutely adore. They're like double fenestrated. If you don't know what that means, the fenestration is where the leaf starts kind of slitting like that. And then when it moves to its double, that's when you start getting like the center fenestrations, which gives it that real jungle vibe. And I just love the splashing on the leaves. That's like one of the first leaves. This was the second one. Right here, she's a little bit curly. She's always been like that. And then this was actually the third one. We've got a fourth one just here. And then these two leaves here grew in my care. So this one grew obviously before this one. I know, I'm just like waffling on. But yeah, I've not had this plant very long. I probably had it a year actually, just under a year. And within that whole year, it has given me 2 leaves. Yeah, it's definitely a slow grower. But with the leaves that are big as this, you wouldn't want it to grow much faster really. I mean, look, 3 leaves would have been, it would have been nice to have more leaves, of course. But it's not the most compact plant, so, but who knows, now that it's on its pole, maybe it will. I'm bringing it over because I just want to show you how gorgeous these little ruffles are on the petioles. Can you see that? And the petiole itself is very like flat. And let me see if I can get my hand in there. But yeah, it's got like a real flatness about it. And it's almost like, you know, celery. That's how it feels, you know, like how it dips in a little bit on celery. But yeah, it's an interesting plant. It really is. It's super strong. And these little ruffles are just too cute. I love that. I think that's adorable. Anyway, I'm going to put it down because it's getting very, very heavy. And I think we can now move on to the next plant. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you where my Monstera Thai lives and what kind of conditions it's getting. In the morning, it gets some really lovely direct morning light right all over this plant. It's just stunning. And I will put in some footage of that because this morning I caught it and it was just, oh, it's so pretty. But it does have a light as well. And I think that one's, it's a Sansi bulb, really cool. I love that bulb. And the plants most definitely are responding well to it. But yeah, and it just lives there on the floor. It seems quite happy. Okay, let's move on to, I think we're on number 3 now. Right, okay, so there's a couple of plants over here that I really want to show you. But I think I'm going to start with another Monstera. So this Monstera albo right here has just pushed out a new leaf. Let me show you. And it's got some beautiful white flecks to it. It's still very, very soft, so I'm not touching it at the moment. And hopefully it will size up. I'm not sure if it will get as big as this one. Who knows? I mean, it's a lot closer to the light now. But I just actually, that just popped out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it. And I just topped up the moss pole, and it feels like every time I top up that moss pole, suddenly we get another leaf. I'm so chuffed with it. Let me just sit here. I love the fact that the variegation is quite stable on this plant. And yeah, I was really worried that maybe we'd be getting more and more greener leaves. But yeah, no, I'm getting like a nice balance, I think. I mean, no half moons. That's not something that I aspire towards. I want my plant to survive and like be really happy and healthy. So yeah, I'm really pleased with like the amount of white and green. I mean, you can see this has got a lot of white to it, and it is browning. This plant, generally I would give this a shower every 2 weeks, and I haven't showered it because it has been very cold, so it hasn't had a shower for about 3 weeks now. But I do feel that that browning would have been prevented had I have done the 2 week shower. And yeah, it's on its moss pole. The moss pole is just full of roots. So when I'm ready to propagate, it's going to be really, really easy. I'll be able to just chop it. And if I do, I'll probably chop it about here. And then I'll have that plant and this one. But anyway, yeah, that won't be until next summer. For now, I'm just going to keep on allowing it to grow up. Now, let me just show you. It doesn't have much space to grow much higher. We could probably get maybe 3 more leaves. It seems that every month or maybe every 2 months I'm getting a new leaf. But we are going into winter, so it might slow down. And yeah, I love this plant. It is another statement plant. Another plant that could stand on its own with a nice little bookshelf. You wouldn't need like a lot of plants around this one. It really is like if you were to just have one space in your home that you wanted to keep quite simple, it's a great plant for that. And it's quite compact as well. So, well, if you give it a pole, it can be very trainable. Anyway, we're going to stop staring at that one. Let's move on to the next plant. Oh, just wanted to show you, that's where my Veitchii is living at the moment. I have moved some things around. I've taken all the Hoyas off the pin board. Won't get into that today. But I've also moved some things here. And so normally the Lux would actually be where this Crystallinum Super Silver is currently. But I've moved it here because I was a little worried that it wasn't getting the light that it needed. And where it is at the moment, it's got a plant light. It's also got these lights at the top. And it's also got a window. So it's getting natural light. And it is absolutely loving it there. It's loving it so much that this is its latest leaf, which is like, I think it's hardened off now. I think it's done. The leaf before it was massive, absolutely huge. I mean, that's my hand, and I've got quite big hands. And check out those chunky roots. Super happy. This one's in a mix of aeroid mix and tree fern fibre. And I've got a layer of and I've got a layer of sphagnum moss on the top. But as you can see, we've got a new leaf coming, which is that one, and an inflorescent, and another little inflorescent right there. So I think I can see something else. I don't know. A lot is going on with this plant at the moment. The anthuriums seem to be absolutely loving the autumn, this change in weather. And yeah, they're all showing some fabulous signs. In fact, my next video is just going to be on updates because, oh my gosh, I have so many updates, so many new leaves, and also a couple of tragic stories that I want to catch up on. But yeah, you're going to get to see this plant again in that video. But oh my gosh, check out that leaf. It is insane. Insane. I mean, if you like kind of Jurassic looking reptilian type plants, this one's a winner. Out of all my anthuriums, I would say that this is probably one of the easiest, even more easier than the clarinerviums, although people say that that's meant to be the easiest one. For me, not so much, but maybe it's because I don't really look at it too much. It's not a plant that I gravitate towards as much as this one. And I mean, of course, it's again a statement plant. It's a one-off. There's nothing really anything else in my home that looks like this plant. And yeah, it could stand alone. Actually, no, I quite like the fact that it's layered with other plants. But it is, yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm not sure if I told you its full name. It's an Anthurium luxurians dark form. So you can get the Lux that's lighter than this. I went for the dark form because that's just my vibe. And I'm really happy that I purchased this plant. And it's been a year and we've been getting along so well. And I wish you weren't looking at my washing machine there in the background right now. Yeah, yeah, we've been together so long now, it feels, and we're getting on. I think we understand each other, and I most definitely can see that this plant is loving autumn. So this will be the second autumn that we're going into together. And oh, I can't wait to tell you, show you, and to speak to you guys again about these new leaves that are coming. I'm just, oh my gosh, I'm so chuffed. I'm so chuffed. What else can I tell you about this plant? It also has like really unusual petiole. Maybe that's another reason why I love this plant. But you can see at the top there, we've got the ruffles. Can you see that? If I put my hand there. There we go. Check out those ruffles. How cool are those? The ruffles are just everything. And there's also like a squareness to the petiole, to the stem. The back of the leaf is super corrugated as well. Oh, is that mealybug? No, it's not. It's that hole. Oh, and we get to see those ruffles again. Really cheeky little number. Yeah, the only problem with anthuriums is when they're really little, if they get a tiny little rip. This was tiny. As the leaf expands, and it expands at quite a pace, the hole just gets really big. But even with the hole, I'm still really impressed with this leaf. I have most definitely been missing some watering, but I'm going to get back on top of that, especially now that it's an aeroid mix and tree fern fibre with it's got more sphagnum moss there on the top, so hopefully that will hold the moisture in the pot a bit more. But yeah. Oh, isn't she gorgeous? Let's move on to another plant. So let's do some Hoyas actually, or a Hoya. So I really want to show you my, let me see if I can get in here, my Hoya linearis. Oh, you can see the blooms. Oh my goodness, you can see them. But yes, look, they haven't opened yet, but the plant is beginning to just bloom all over. little dinky ones, and they're all going to come at like kind of different times as well. But I can't wait to show you this plant again once all the blooms are open. So they kind of start quite dinky like that. I feel like I keep seeing mealybug, but no, yeah, they start quite dinky and then they just expand. And then eventually that'll open and there'll be like a little yellow and white flower in there that smells of lemon. Oh, it's adorable. I'm actually going to put the camera back on the stand now because I have another Hoya linearis, and I'm going to show you that one up close. Ta-da! So this Hoya linearis normally lives in my hallway. And sorry, I forgot to say that the other one is in a chunky aeroid mix. This one is in pon, and it's cuttings from that other plant. And like literally just noticed the other day that it's blooming. I can't believe it. It's got two. Actually, no, I've just seen a third one. Let me come back a bit. Look. Oh my, I just absolutely, is that mealybug on it? I think we do have some mealybug though. So I'll have to spray that down. Oh no, that's annoying. Yeah, so I'm really so amazed that the cuttings, how old are these cuttings? I don't even know. I'd have to do a little bit of digging to try and figure out how old. I mean, it's probably a year old now, this plant, and it's been living in pon, a completely different situation, and still blooming. So I'm really chuffed with that. And oh, I'm so excited. I mean, seriously. Oh, the other plant, the larger one that I showed you, I actually put in the hallway this year. I thought, oh, maybe it would prefer cooler temperatures and it would bloom more often because it's a little cooler out there. But it didn't bloom at all. And then I moved it back onto the shelf where it had been before, and straight away it started blooming. Now that one, the linearis, the large one, would normally, in the past, it's bloomed maybe, I don't know, 3 times in the summer and then 3 times again, or twice in the winter. It bloomed a lot, and then this year, this is the first time it's bloomed. So because I had to include that plant, I am absolutely amazed. I'm slightly horrified that I found mealybug on this plant, and I can't just like not do anything about it. I'm actually just going to quickly tackle this now, and then we can move on. Yeah, so this one lives in my hallway, and is that more mealybug? Ooh. Oh, it's so annoying. Yeah, so so this one, like I said, it's been living in the hallway. That's where it's always lived. I'm seeing a lot of mealybug. Okay, try not to be distracted. Yeah, this one, it lives in the hallway. It's loving life out there. It hasn't lived in the, has it been out there in the winter? I'm hoping it will survive out there in the winter. This is definitely like kind of a test dummy. But yeah, I think it's actually used to its location, and the amount of light it gets as well is quite high. It's pretty much right underneath a skylight, a southeast facing skylight. And I'll probably put in some footage so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm still shocked at how many blooms are hanging off this thing. It's just bizarre. It really is. Hopefully the blooms will open fairly soon and I'll get to show you those. But for now, there it is, there it is. I'm so happy. It's quite an unusual Hoya. It's kind of almost more like a Rhipsalis in the way that it's jungle vibes, how it hangs. and it's got quite a weight to it, like it's like hair almost. You know how rip stylists kind of can tend to look like, you know, like a ponytail or something. I guess that's kind of another reason why I love it so much. I think a lot of people do love the Hoya linearis because it's got that really delicate, whimsical thing about it, and then once it's blooming, it's like what is that tree? A willow tree. It has kind of some similar vibes about it that I really love. And then the blooms just, hopefully I've got some photos of an open bloom that I can show you, but the scent also very, very pretty. If you don't have this plant, definitely keep your eyes open. They do kind of disappear but then reappear online. I do know of a couple of shops in London that generally have this stocked. So if you are interested, just leave me a message, put that in the comments, and I will tell you where you can go to find them. But yeah, that's number 6. I'm going to go and hang this back up since it's got mealybug, and I will get on to the 7th plant. And then the last plant, I think I might have done a video of this where it actually lives, but this is my candlestick plant. I don't know its Latin name. I probably have it written down, so I will just add that. But I love this plant. I'm obsessed with it. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, because it's just, there's not much to it. But this one lives in the hallway, and my bedroom, so my main room here, living room, kitchen, then there's a hallway, and then there's a bedroom, bathroom. And so I'm constantly kind of going backwards and forwards, and literally every time I walk by, I can't help but look at this. It's just, it's bizarre. It's very unusual. But the flowers, it's not even a flower, is it? It's just like a leaf. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this plant. Let me know, guys, are you feeling it too? It's just really unusual. Now there's only kind of one little stem in there. I suppose if it was a fuller pot, if it was a fuller pot, then maybe it'd be slightly more impressive. But for me, I suppose that's what I'm visually kind of seeing, is what it can be. But even with this kind of odd little, like the way that it kind of like, it's just doing its own thing. It has like such a wildness about it. It's like it's just creeping out of the pot. It's, you know, it's finding where it wants to go in life. It's just such a little oddball, and I'm a sucker for an oddball. I mean, who isn't, right? But yeah, I still don't get why I love this plant so much. A little history. I have only had this one, I don't know, maybe 7 months. Normally when I guess, I get it right. So I would say like 7 or 8 months. It was actually a gift from a subscriber. And yeah, when I first got it, I was like, yeah, it's unusual, it's a bit odd. But I'm now loving it more and more. With each day, like coming out, every time I go to work and I come back and this thing's like sat, especially when the light is on it. Oh, it's just so pretty. We do have like some little, I think it did have some sort of flower at one stage, just pulling off what was the flower, and I don't think I have photographs of that. But they looked fairly similar to that, but they were more purple. But that could be because it was right underneath the skylight and it was sun stressed possibly. Now it's quite a distance away from the skylight, but it does get direct sunlight. And I feel like I've found that happy balance for this plant to just, you know, groove on. It's just grooving on. It's in a chunky aeroid mix, nothing too fancy. Let me show you. Ooh, she rooty. And I'm not sure, did I have to root this plant? I'm not sure if it came as a cutting or whether it had roots, but it most certainly has more roots now. It's got a lot of roots going on there in its little orchid pot, Idoribos. And I must say, I haven't watered this. I can't even remember the last time I watered it. It looks fine. It doesn't look like it needs water, but maybe I will water it today because finally got the fertilizer that I like and that my plants like. I had to wait. I was a bit worried there for a while, but they finally got them. They got the fertilizer in stock, so everything's going to get watered after this, including this guy. So yeah, that's my last one. So those are my top 7 favourite plants of this month, and I think I selected right. I mean, there's a lot of plants, I always say this, that could have been added to the list. I should maybe just round this to 10 plants, but 7's my lucky number, so that's the reason why I always use the number 7. Yeah, I'm really pleased with them, and I just hope and pray that they still thrive throughout the winter. I will be doing a video on what my next move is going to be with the plants throughout the winter. Obviously there's going to be less light, the temperature is going to drop, the humidity, well, who knows what's going to happen to that. And yeah, obviously I'm not going to be opening windows all the time, so the oxygen levels and all of those things, but I will talk about that more in that video. But yeah, I just really hope that you enjoyed looking at some of my statement plants, the ones that have been capturing my eye every time I walk by them, or the ones that I kind of wake up eagerly to have a cup of coffee and stare at in the morning, and the ones that have just been waving goodbye and greeting me home from work each day. Yeah, let me know what you think. Any surprises, or do I just keep choosing the same plants? There's definitely 1 or 2 plants that I probably say that they're on my favourites every time I do a favourites video. I hope that you can see why I include those particular plants. I'm looking right now at the pretty turtle, which apparently isn't a pretty turtle, but I'm just going to call it a pretty turtle, alright? Yeah, that one most definitely I show off a lot, and the monsteras and the larks. Oh, but I love them so much. They're just so easy. They're so chilled. They're so easy going. I never had to freak out about them. They're just easygoing plants, and that's probably another reason why not only are they just statement plants to look at, they're just really like quite vocal visually. They're also just so chilled and just so easy to take care of. So yeah, if you don't have any of those plants that I've just showed you, and there's one that's kind of popped up that you thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to try and get myself one of those, do let me know which one out of the 7 that you don't have in your collection that you're thinking maybe you would buy it, or maybe you do have it in your collection and you also love yours as much as I love mine. Yeah, keep those comments flowing, guys. I love having a little chin wag with you guys after each video. And I hope that you are getting used to the time change. I am going to be changing the time again. I know I've moved my videos now from Sunday to Saturday, 6 p.m. Saturday GMT time. But I am kind of thinking maybe I'll do 12 midday Saturday. I'm just going to keep moving the day and just see what you guys think. I've definitely noticed a difference in the amount of people that are watching the videos. I haven't actually checked to see if those are people that are subscribed or not. I need to check on my analytics and all that. I haven't done that in such a long time. Like, I've literally just been working and then chilling. So yeah, I'm not sure if the numbers are higher because more subscribers are like getting to see the video flash up, or you know, is it a more convenient time for them? Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much again for hanging out, and I hope that you all have a fabulous week, and I will see you here all again next time. All right, bye.